Alright, hello and welcome. Today we are going to go over anger. I know a lot of us have heard anger. Do not sin, right? You can be angry, but do not sin. If we're not careful, we are living in some angry times. We're living in times of anger, and we have all these things out there that are saying, it's okay to be angry because I didn't get elected. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. This life matters. That life matters. And here we go, right? What does the scripture say? Galatians 3:21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. And what are we doing? Some families are intentionally encourage their children to hurt others, to destroy things, to be angry. If they are going to break someone else's window, what are they doing? What are you promoting? Anger. Anger is not the answer. It doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what we like. It doesn't matter whether we like this guy or that guy. If we're not careful, we are promoting anger, hate. Now, what is anger? What is it? What does it mean? It means to flare the nostrils, right? If we look it up, the Hebrew is the flaring of the nostrils. So when it says, do not kindle a fire on the Sabbath day, it's not talking about a fire. It's not talking about I can't light my furnace, I can't start my car, I can't have heat because they had sacrifices. What it's really talking about is not to flare the nostrils. Do not make someone angry on the Sabbath day. And again, you can look it up. It is the H639, the APH, the AF, and the properly nose or the nostril, hence the face, and occasionally to make the nose, make the nostrils flare, which is angry, right? To make one angry. Mark 3:5, and when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. Now again, this is where it comes in, and it says, be angry, but sin not. We can be angry that there is injustice going on. We can be angry that people are being fooled. We can go uptown. It's natural to go uptown and see many people are deceived and they're being deceived. It's okay to be a little bit upset about that. As well we should be. But what we shouldn't be doing is saying, well, I'm going to just start throwing bread and loaves of bread and eggs and pouring milk out on the floor, and I'm just going to start doing this way because, you know what, I am angry and I am upset about this, and therefore I can just start tearing things apart. We see the Messiah was angry. We see he was angry in a couple cases here. But what did he do? He went ahead and healed. He went ahead and helped them. It upset him. It made him angry, as it says here, that their doubt, that their disbelief. So we can be angry that the world is going in the wrong direction. We can be angry that we go to a church and they're preaching everything but the truth. We can be angry that people are so blind that they want to be in crazy relationships that they don't belong in. It's okay to be upset, to get angry, but not act upon it, or not act in an unapostle, un-Christian, if you will, an unloving way, right? An unloving way. Oh, I'm mad because, Joe said this about me, and last Sabbath he said I was wrong, and last Sabbath this, and last Sabbath that, and all week long we can't wait to see Joe to tell him how wrong he was. Is that what we're supposed to do? Even if someone's wrong, how does it help them? If you're dead wrong on something, if a woman is not going to cover her hair, and what is it going to help for me to get angry and make up all the different ways and funny faces and all that? Is it going to help the situation? This is what needs to happen. This is the way it needs to happen. And if it doesn't, then that's on you. Vengeance is mine, saith Yahweh. We don't have to make vengeance out of doing the right thing. And that's what a lot of churches have become. They're a vengeful, hatred place. Galatians 3 and 8. But now you also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Oh boy, if they don't go to this church, then we can talk bad about them. Oh man, if they don't do it this way, we can talk bad about them. We can walk around talking about pagan this, pagan that, pagan this, pagan that, and it's just, oh boy. But is it right? Is it okay to do? Does it help anyone? Is it helping anyone? Was Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? If we're not very careful, what we do is we take the word and we use it against people. And we use it the way we want to use it. And hence, your so-called churches are doing. If you ain't in this Sunday church, you're wrong and you're going to where? If you ain't a part of this, you're wrong and you're going to where? If you ain't a part of this, right? And it goes on and on and on. Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. Keep your temper under control. It is foolish to harbor a grudge. It's a terrible thing to harbor a grudge, because what happens? We are saying at all costs you can never come back. We are taking it and making it something, and sometimes it isn't. Sadly, in some of these cases, we're making people our enemy over the most simplistic things you can possibly think about. Oh, well, my puppies beat on the floor, and therefore I won't talk to you for 15 years. Really? Is that what it's really about? Or is there something underneath lying there? Is there something really different? Is there something you're hiding? What's really going on? Because if we're not careful, we will turn and twist and make things into something it isn't, or something it never was, but the underlying evil things that happen between us, that's what the really thing is. That's what's really going on. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15 and 1. We all know this. We all know someone says something to you, you're uptown, and you're like, hey, how you doing? None of your business. Hey, man, I was just asking how you was doing. What's up? Ain't none of your business. Don't worry about me. What happens real quick? It gets escalated. Now we're both angry. Now everybody's angry. If you're not careful, here comes Mama. Now Mama's angry. Now here comes the sister. Oh, now everybody's ready to fight over simple words, and you may not even know the people. But because that got stirred up, we're ready to fight. We're ready to go. Same thing happens with the election. The same things happen on daily basis if we're not careful. How I park my car, where I park my car, how I drive here, how I drive there, how someone else is driving. If we're not careful, we are training ourselves to be hateful and angry. And it's okay because everybody else is hateful and angry. And it's okay because they're pagans. It's okay because they don't know what the truth is. No, it's not. It's not okay. We should be more loving and kind to them than to anyone. We should be more loving and kind to the stranger than your brother and sister. Should you not? Because how are you going to show them the light? How are you going to show them the love? You don't think so? What did Yeshua say on the stake? Nothing. What did he say to them? What did he do to them? If we think for a second, because someone's pagan, because somebody isn't right, that we have a right to treat them miserably or differently, we're wrong. Because he showed us in the scriptures, he said not a word. He didn't call angels down to destroy them. He could have. It's written so, right? Do you not know that I can have how many? An innumerable amount of angels. Even when the enemy was tempting him, he could have destroyed him. You realize that? He could have stumped him up, threw him in the ocean, chained him down, got rid of him, threw him into hell. I mean, all the options. Would we let someone do that to us? We don't want someone doing anything to us. We want to repay them. We want to give them back, especially if we know we can beat them up. Let that little guy come tell me something, and I'm going to put him in his place. Let that little woman come and tell me something. Let that... We're even judgmental of because we know we can get away with it. Ain't that terrible? Oh, because I think I can get away with it, because I think I can overpower them, because I think they're an elder. Well, I'm going to show them and put them in their place. That anger abounds. Ecclesiastes 7:9. Be not quick in your spirit to become angry, for anger lodges in the heart of fools. Because when we get angry, what do we look like? When we really get angry, don't we look crazy? You ever see somebody turn the noise down on the TV, watch ridiculousness or something like that, and see somebody that gets angry, and what happens? They look totally absurd, don't they? They think they're getting their point across. They think they're doing something. They probably really think their foes are going to bow down to them or something, but what do you really look like? And in some instances, some people do almost want to make you laugh because they're like, what is this? Right? What are you doing? But if we're not careful, the worst part, and what usually happens, is we get angry as well. Because they set something off, they did something, and they're trying to get us going. So guess what? We're going to meet their anger with our anger, and our anger is more powerful than their anger. And here we go. Be sober and self-controlled. Be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Look that up. Listen to them, how they grunt and go. Isn't that what the enemy's doing? Hey you, hey you, hey you, hey you. What are you doing? Why do you look like that? Hey you, what's wrong with you? What are you wearing that on your head? What's on your body? What do you look like a Muslim? What are you doing? What's he doing? Trying to antagonize you. Trying to get you riled up. Trying to get you upset. It's amazing. We have Halloween and people go in the stores dressed as whatever. The kids don't scream and holler. People don't run and scream. Nobody's worried the store's going to get robbed. Any of those things. But yet you walk in looking like this, even to some churches, and people start wondering what's going on. You go to Walmart and they're scary looking. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with that lady? Oh my goodness, what's wrong? Isn't that amazing? What demon summoned up and told them that? Because when they're dressed as a devil on October 31st, nobody's upset. Their mom's dressed like a devil and their dad's dressed as Captain Caveman with a club to bear. And nobody's worried about any of it. Isn't that amazing? But yet when you dress biblically and you look like you should, as the scripture states, people start to worry and they start to get upset. What a sad day when truth begets anger. Because the truth does what? It's like a sword, and it makes people understand that's the truth, and they don't like it. It is better to dwell in a desert land than with a conscientious and fretful woman. Proverbs 21:19. You know, she's just always upset, always going on, always paranoid, always this, always that, and there's always something wrong. The scripture says don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about it. Right? Essentially, that's what it's saying is do not be anxious for anything. We're not worried about what's outside, inside, over here, over there. It doesn't mean that we let the world fall on our head, but we don't let everything consume us. Because the moment we do, we're consumed by it. If we're not careful, that becomes our God. We are more worried about paranoia and outside than we are pleasing the Father. I desire, therefore, that the men in every place pray, lifting up holy hands without anger and doubting. 1 Timothy 2:8. Without anger and doubting. How many people you go to church or you go somewhere? We're going to pray. We're going to pray for Sarah. We're going to pray for Bobby. We're going to pray. And in their mind, and sometimes they will even tell you, well, they're going to die. I've heard it. We're going to pray for this one, and they're in the hospital, and let's get a prayer cloth, and let's do this. And then as soon as they get done praying, I think they're probably going to die. They probably ain't got long to live. Well, then why did you pray? What are you talking about? Does that make any sense whatsoever? A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. We know this, right? We know if you say something back, if it's a backlash, we know what's happening. Hey, can you get me some coffee? Get it yourself. Wow, where did that come from? What did I do to you? Why would you say that? And now what happens? Now we start the rambling and gambling and all the heresies and all the things come up to what? Why did you say that? Who are you to talk to me that way? And now our anger, now our nostrils are flaring. Now, wait a minute, now I'm the king of this household, and how dare you talk to me this way? Or vice versa, right? Now, wait a minute, we ain't going to have none of this. And we're always fighting for a position if we're not careful. Because if we're not careful, it gets out of order. When we fall under, when we get on top, when we do things differently than what Yahweh has commanded, that's what happens. That's why the household and the marriage is so important. It doesn't look like it. Why is there so many divorces? Why is there no dads? Why is there not mom and dads? Because that kingship coming from Yahweh, coming to the man, coming to the woman, going to the children, when you break it, what does it show? What does it beget? Anger. Where's my daddy? Where's my mommy? Where's my this? Now I'm mad because if they would have done this, and now I hate this, and it becomes hate. I just hate him. I just hate her. I just hate him because of this, and I just don't know nothing of the truth. How many people have been divorced and their kids know an ounce of the truth, or even when they're told the truth at 20, they've been sheeped in so bad over their eyes, that guy, that girl is a monster. Stay away from that guy. He's scary. Stay away from that guy. He's terrible. Stay away from that guy. He's been to jail. Stay away from, right? Anger and hate. Don't give in to worry or anger. It only leads to trouble. Psalms 37:8. When we let anger and worry lead our lives, it leads to depression, it leads to high blood pressure, tension, it leads to all kinds of problems. And most of it, I would submit to you, is because we do not open the Bible and read the scriptures and remember the Sabbath day and remember Yahweh and to keep Akkad and to keep Him our main thing. If we focus on Yahweh and make Him number one, we ain't got time to worry about whether somebody's outside with a knife or not. We're not worried about whether somebody's out there with this or not. We are not worried about them because Yahweh has vengeance. Right? And if it's not your time, those angels can be set forth. An animal, a raccoon. Do you know how many animals could terrorize a person? especially at night. Oh, I'm just going to sneak up on you with my little butter knife at 2 a.m. And a raccoon comes out of nowhere and jumps on your head and your face and starts ripping your eyes out. You ain't going to be hanging around for long. Let alone an angel with a sword and you got your butter knife. See, if we believe the scriptures, if we trust in Yahweh, we're not worried about little children and butter knives. We're not worried about people with loaded guns. We're not worried about who voted, who didn't. Let Yahweh work it out. And if evil, and it's time for the evil, then it's time for that to happen. We know the mark of the beast. We know things have to come about. We know evil has to have time. It's all about decisions. It's all about reading the scriptures. How long will the enemy mock you? O Elohim, will the foe reveal your name forever? We know what's happening. We know what's going on. We know what the scripture says about these things. But yet if we're not careful, and very careful at that, we're letting anger control us. We're letting paranoia control us. We're letting a piece of paper, a piece of cloth control us. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. Read Psalms 4 and 4. Do not let the anger control you. And it can. Trust me, if you're not careful, anger can consume you and burn in you. And you will hate people. You will hate countries. You will hate all kinds of things. And especially if you let it keep going. We want to be peaceful. We are called to be peaceful. We are called to learn the scriptures. Most people don't even know about anger. They don't know anger in the Bible. All they know is be angry and do not sin. Okay, be angry and do not sin. But how do I do that? What does that look like? Because my pastor and his son fight in the parking lot and throw rocks and have all kinds of word exchanges. What, is that okay because he's the pastor? Is that okay because of this, or because of his wife, or because of his sister, because of his daughter? What does it look like? When we're not taught truth, what do? When we're not taught what truth looks like, what do we have? If we don't even know what anger is, a lot of people don't even know what that is. Oh, do not kindle a fire on the Sabbath. There's people freezing and cold and worrying that they're going to freeze and they can't turn on the furnace. I can't flip on the light switch. There's all kinds of traditions of men that are just nonsense. Because we just ain't going to read it. We just ain't going to understand it. We're not going to take the time to find the man of Yahweh, to find a true apostle, to find someone who Yahweh says, this is what I mean here. Oh no, I go home and read my Bible myself and wonder why I got 12 different Sukkots and 12 different calendars and 12 different people and 12 different ways of doing everything. Right? Oh, I can go over on December 25th. Ain't there 12 days of Christmas anyway? Ain't there? Well, I just ain't going to count all, but what are you talking about? Now don't be getting me upset. Don't anger me. And then they will use it just like the devil. Don't anger me. Don't get me upset. If you get me upset, you can't make me mad. Yeah, to a point. I'm not supposed to offend you, and you're not supposed to offend me. But when we start talking about Scripture, what's it going to do? It's going to make you angry. Whoever is slow to anger is better than a mighty, and he who rules his spirit is better than one who takes a city. Proverbs 16 and 31. Better than someone that takes a city? Can you imagine that? Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and one who rules his spirit is better than one that can take a city. Because how much more can you take? how many more people see you? How many people see that you're serving the true Almighty King Yahweh? How many people see what's really going on instead of, oh, well, that guy, he can rule, he can come in, he can knock down walls, he can do all these things, but his temper's just, boy, his temper's just out there. His temper is just something else, right? I hope this has helped. I hope it edifies. There's so many things out there that people are doing and they're saying, and there's so many people, sadly, that are not doing the Sabbath because of people tell them they can't do this, they can't have a fire, you can't run your furnace. Either you can or you can't. If it truly says you can't kindle a fire, then you can't do those things. But wait a minute. They had the sacrifices. They had the daily sacrifices. They had the peace offerings. They have all these things. Plus, you think it's His will that you freeze to death on the day that He appointed you to come be with Him? No. We have to think. We don't get angry. And that's where a lot of people turn and they don't want to come back. They read a Bible verse and somebody tells them how it is and what it is, and they get angry. And they say, wait a minute. And I've heard them say it. Well, I don't want to serve a God that... Don't let you be the one that is that problem. Don't let your anger provoke that. If they say that because of Scripture and they just don't get along and they don't want to, then so be it. But let not any of us be the ones who misinterpret, who mislead, who tell somebody they can't run their furnace, they can't start their car, they can't flip a light switch, but the Goem can. Wait a minute. So you can break the rules, you can do what you want, and you can break commandments, and I'm going to stand here and watch you. Not only am I going to stand here and watch you, I'm going to make you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to invite you, and that's your purpose, is to break a commandment right in front of me. Does that make sense? How does that make sense? It doesn't, right? But yet we see people all over the world going to synagogues and doing things. You don't think your children see this? You don't think the Father sees that? Let's not kindle His anger. Let's not get His wrath poured out upon us. Let's save those days for those who are deserving and not for us. And that's why He says, vengeance is mine, saith Yahweh. Let's leave all that vengeance and fighting and arguing and what life matters and whose life matters. And if we're going to worry about any of that, we should be saying the baby's life matters. All babies' lives matters. Right? Those ones who cannot stand up and wear a t-shirt. Those who can't run around and say, my life matters. Let's stand up for them and say, their life matters. From the womb, from conception. Oh, well, you know, it's a 12-pound baby. Throw it in the dumpster. But you're going to wear something that says your life matters? Come on, folks. That is just ridiculousness. And it's not even funny. Catch the pun. So I hope this has edified you. I hope it helps you. I hope it helps the body. I hope we can come together and start assembling and start learning and start helping each other and stop the anger and all the things that a lot of these assemblies promote. They really promote it, whether you believe it or not. Oh, well, I'm in the assembly in Chicago, and we don't really get along with the assembly in South Chicago. Well, I don't really get along in Southern Illinois. I don't really get along with Mississippi. Me and Loosedale don't click. If we are the assembly and we are the body of the Mashiach, then we should all understand we are brothers and sisters. And we should all listen, and we should all be putting this together, and we should have apostles. We should have it the way it says so. That's why it's so broke. Oh, I'm the assembly of Shalom. Really? Do you teach about Shalom? Do your people know what Shalom is? Does the people walking in the door know what this even means? but they know how to dance and sing the latest Joshua whatever song. It's broke. It's broke because we don't do what the scripture says. We don't teach anger. We don't teach anger management. We don't teach it to our children. We give them a pill. Well, my child is just a mess. Well, take him to the doctor and give him a pill. Is that biblical? Is that scriptural? Where does it say that? My scriptures tells me if anyone have an ailment, bring them before the elders and have them prayed for. Some of these things could be demonic. Some of these things could be underlying. Some of these things because of divorce. There could be so many things that we just want to sweep under the rug anymore because, hey, your daddy's a bum. Hey, your mama's garbage. Hey, and it goes on and on and on. And in today's world, it's accepted. Oh, we can't say certain things, right? We can't talk about, go in the house and stay there. That's abuse. But our government can tell us to go in the house and stay there, and that's not abuse. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong the way that we do business because we don't do it about Yahweh's business. We don't do it the way He says. We want to do it the way we want to do it. We want to start a church and take in money and build the name. And it's not His name, it's your name. Right? When's the last time you heard somebody say, hey, I'm going to the church of Bill. I'm going to go to the church of Fred. I'm going to go, what? Yeah. Fred's church. Oh. I'm going to go to the assembly. Which assembly? Oh, the assembly, where Hector goes. So who do we make our gods? Are we putting Yahweh first? And even when you get there, even if the person wants to act like they're humble, what usually happens? We're dancing, we're singing, we're parading around like the world. We're doing the same thing that the world has done, the same thing that they did. And if you don't think it's wrong, read Exodus. Moshe came down and he heard, and Aaron said it was as the sound of war. Oh, no, it's not, Aaron. That's dancing and singing. And they got in trouble for it. Why? Because what does dancing and singing lead to? What does it lead to in the world? Why wouldn't it lead to the same thing now? When you see women and men and gyrating and bouncing, what comes to mind? Oh, I know. I want to go get my Bible. Right? No. We have to be careful with the anger, and we have to be careful with the anger provoked, because if somebody's looking at your wife and you provoke them to anger because now they're thinking about adulterous things, what are we doing? We have to stay away from anger at all costs. And usually it means we have to suffer. It means when somebody sees you in Walmart and calls you a name and says something about you, you smile and you say, have a blessed day, shalom be with you, and let it be. Because there's going to become a time, and if we're still around and Yahweh tarries, there's going to become a lot more than what we see with a little paper mask and a little paper mache and a little, oh, do this. Right? They're already trying to say, do this or else. They're already trying to say in certain states, you will do this. We have to be careful, folks. We can't let the anger take us over. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Till next time, may Yahweh bless you. May His countenance shine upon you, and may He grant you shalom. Shalom, everybody. Go forth and be more than conquerors, and do not let anger consume you. Shalom. Yahweh bless you. Shalom, and have a great and wonderful day. Yahweh bless.